Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? A podcast where two sisters share uplifting conversations on fun and sometimes serious topics.
Join us each week by clicking the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. If you enjoy the show, use the share link. It's one of the best ways to expand the conversation.
Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What am I thinking? Well, we are thinking about mothers. Mother's Day is upon us, and the job of a mother is never done. So we want to take a moment and talk about the role of a mother, talk about ways to honor our mothers, and just be able to shed some light on motherhood. So when you think of Mother's Day and moms, what are you thinking, Lori?
I guess I kind of, when we said we were going to talk about this, I was looking at the history of Mother's Day, and I was just curious. Oftentimes we'll celebrate holidays, but we don't too much reflect on the origin, and I really didn't get the opportunity to do a whole lot of research on it, but apparently the day came as someone memorializing a struggle that their own mother had. And we all know that motherhood is one of the most difficult and difficult professions or jobs, and it is also one that there is very little praise for oftentimes. And it's something that recently we've been watching a deer killer bird in the road, and how she's attending to 4 eggs. So it's like, even in the animal kingdom, we've watched her struggle to look after her 4 eggs. So it's like even the birds have the struggle that is a part of motherhood.
Yeah, and has its sort of ebbs and floods of how when it's good, it's really good, but it can be very difficult at times, and finding that balance of what works for you. And typically, as parents and specifically as moms, we don't really get a handbook. There are a lot of books out there that people have written from their own experiences, but typically our best teacher is the way we were parented and the way we were mothered. And we either lean into it, or we pull back from it, or we try to find that happy medium of embracing those things that were great and being able to pull away and change the things that we didn't like about how we were raised. I teach a parenting class. Well, I did. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not sad about that. But and it was an assignment called Trading Places, where the person would look at how they were raised and write things that they liked about it and things they didn't like about it, and switch roles as if they were their own child and if they were parenting themselves, and look at the things that if they were being parented by them, what would they like and what would they dislike. And we say, and be honest, you are standing in the shoes of your child, and be honest about what you would like and what you wouldn't. And some of the things that is notable about when they do that assignment is even some of the things that they didn't like about being parented, they find that it kind of still seeps into the way they end up parenting their child as well. Several birthdays ago for our mom, I wrote this poem called You Drew from What You Knew. and it talks about literally her journey of, the saying, when you know better, you do better. And I would say that is the experience of most mothers, is that we try to navigate this balance of doing those things that we believe are right and steering clear of the things that we feel will not be helpful to our child. And even then, it's hard.
And it's, as you were talking, I just thought about community and how once upon a time in the past, women, the weight of motherhood wasn't just on them. They were either families that lived together, so you had 2 generations maybe under the same roof, and the load of being a mother, it wasn't as heavy. And as society modernized, and that facet or that model of family began to redefine itself, and we see just if there's generations in the home is no more than 2, that the weight of being a mother, it falls on that one person. And you're right, you're going to draw from what you know. But it also reminds me of when we're pregnant and when we are anticipating and waiting and nesting to be a mother. And during pregnancy, if you've ever been pregnant, a lot of attention is put on the pregnant mom. And in the LDRPs, when I worked in labor and delivery, postpartum recovery, after the mother would deliver and the baby would be separated from her and put in its crib, and the visitors would come, and instead of being around the mom, they're around the baby. And part of my discharge would be to prepare that mom for that, and to let her know this is what being a mother is about. It's no longer just about you. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that when I counsel couples, when they're at that phase of thinking they want to start their family, is talking to them about, are you really ready for the transition, and finding that balance of still nurturing your relationship while nurturing and caring for this new life, and realizing that I know what you have in mind of what you think parenthood is going to be, but you need to throw that out and be open to accept what type of parenting your child is going to require. And sometimes that can be difficult because people can sort of romanticize of what this is going to be like and what they think. And
I think most women romanticize.
Yeah, I think they do. And then until if they have a difficult pregnancy, that is semi or early wake up call that this child is going to coming into this world and doing things on their terms, not necessarily on yours. So, but if you don't have that, sometimes it's not until the child arrives that you get that, when you have those sleepless nights and when you are dealing with whatever challenges the child may, and even what they want to call an easy child, it still shifts your life. I have learned to embrace the more positive aspects of it, but we have to be honest to say it's not all positive. It can definitely, and it doesn't end, as you know, as the mother of adult children as well. The role of being a mother, it transitions, but it doesn't end. And I heard a thing on the radio where they were talking about somebody having sheltered their child too much and how they have gone off to college and are being wild in the world. And I thought about that, and I'm like, even that's what someone else may say is sheltering, you could see as protecting. And it's one of those things where it depends on the lens through which you are viewing it, how you will see it when it comes to raising your child.
And that's one of the reasons I would always say there is no handbook to parenting. There really isn't, because that that analogy that they sheltered their child, that might be true for that individual, but maybe not for
the next.
For the next. It might be what that person needed. So, across the board, and I can think of a sibling that detested
authority.
I'm trying to find nice words to say here. Detested authority, correction, and in her own words, basically stated that she did not want to raise her children in that way. So that punishment aspect that sometimes needs to be a part of parenting was not there.
Right.
And children need boundaries.
They love boundaries, whether they can verbalize it or
right.
not. They like structure. They like boundaries. And I have even told parents to don't look at it as punishment. Look at it as correction. I said, if that helps you, I said, because no child needs to be beaten. And if that was your experience, don't feel like you got to go to the whole opposite extreme and allow them to have no rules, because that has its own issues as well. So structure and boundaries, it's healthy for a child. They need to have rules. They need to understand that everything is not yes. That no does exist, and it's not just them saying it. So as we salute our mothers, think about the journey for all the different types of moms we have. And it's not just about birthing a child, because we know that we can become mothers in various different ways these days. And sometimes it's not even our choice. We have a lot of grandparents who have had to take on the mother role as the primary role, whether it's due to death, whether it's due to drugs, whether it's due to so many other things that happen, how they have to step up and take that on. Our single moms out there, which Lori, you can relate to, having done that journey for a time in your life. It's not easy, for parents and mothers who are mothering children with special needs, a journey I can relate to. Having to step up as a sibling and raise your children, whether officially or unofficially, it happens. So, and maybe you're not the official guardian legally, but that you in your life serve that mothering surrogate role to individuals in your life. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Find a way to treat yourself if no one else chooses to recognize and honor you on Mother's Day, because we know that Mother's Day is truly every day of the year. There's just this one day on the calendar that they choose to highlight it. But know that the role of a mother never ends. And I would like to talk to those mothers who didn't get to have their children for a long time, or maybe their child didn't make it to a successful birth. For those moms who prematurely miscarried, don't dismiss what you did for whatever time period you were a mother to that child and to that life and to that baby that struggled for however long. It still counts. So don't let anybody else discount that for you, and don't do it yourself. Okay? Being a mother comes in all shapes, forms, and fashions, and you embrace what works for you. Anything else you'd like to share, Lori?
It's not all. It's not always a rose garden, but it is definitely for me a journey that has been a good one And I honestly can say that for me, there have been more happy times than there were difficult and sad. And I would just encourage all moms to just focus on those things, your positive little nuggets, and just remember that at the end of the day, this is not a test. You're not going to get a grade. Don't be too hard on yourself. Do the best job that you can do, and it does take a village, whether you are seeding something positive to another mom who might need that uplifting word. Just realize that as moms, we are all in this together.
And I want to say it is a rose garden, because as we know, roses come with its petals and its thorns.
And its thorns, yeah.
So when you think of this journey, really think of that. And as you go through this Mother's Day and every day, embrace those soft rose petals and learn how to live through and with the thorns. Thank you all for listening. Have a happy Mother's Day. Have a wonderful week. And please subscribe, make comments, and share What Am I Thinking on this W.A.I.T channel. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.